This is Madison Marie Russo, who you will very quickly realize is a terrible human being and has joined a long list of even more terrible TikTokers by faking cancer to scam her fans out of tens of thousands of dollars.
I've kind of been puking up until the morning as well. And I was supposed to go to radiation this morning, it being a Wednesday morning, and there was no way I could make it. So I called, so I don't know if I'll go later or if I can skip it today.
Well, luckily for Madison, she didn't have to do any of that. Wanna know why? Because she made it all up. And she's finally facing the music for her terrible deeds, as she has pretty much ruined her life in one of the most hilariously stupid ways possible.
I figured this would be the most real and raw thing to show you, and that is my kind of setup for in my bathroom, because I spend a lot of time puking in my bathroom.
Like, that's the most raw and real thing you can show us? Your battle of life and death with cancer is your apple juice box next to your yoga mat in your bathroom puking station. Got it.
She's a liar. She's a little liar.
But look, it's all good because Madison got some explaining to do to the authorities, with a prison sentence on the way and her gravy train coming to an end as the world finds out she was just using cancer for clout and to scam people.
Now lock her up.
There's a lot to go through, and it gets even more insane. The ridiculous lies she told, which we have footage of, how she got caught, which you won't believe, and what's up next for Miss Russo, and spoiler alert, prison. It's not looking too good for your girl. But first, I am Joe Stone. This is the Church of Joe Stone podcast, where cool comes to pray, you come to stay, and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss another video coming your way, where we find the most shocking and provocative news and take it to church. Now, according to GoDaily19, Miss Russo received a large amount of money through GoFundMe by making people believe that she had a football-sized tumor wrapped around her spine. Madison, or Maddie, posted to several social media platforms such as LinkedIn, TikTok, and Facebook, where she spoke on her self-diagnosed stage 2 pancreatic cancer, acute lymphoblastic leukemia, and how she was informed by doctors that she had a football-sized tumor wrapped around her spine. Goddamn. And I don't want it to be lost in translation exactly how sick of a person this was. She had to be, because not only did she make video after delusional video about a disease and struggles that she did not have, but she also wrote post after post on Facebook. And in these, you can just see how off her rocker she really is. Like this post. All I can say is, cancer sucks. There's no other words. I just want to have a normal life and do things that everyone else can do. I don't want to sit through radiation, take chemo pills that make me so sick, brush out clumps of my hair, get blood infusions, and get poked and prodded every week, freeze my eggs, get injections to help create more, and blah, blah, blah. Don't take for granted the everyday things you can do. PSA, I got excited to just be able to go get groceries today. This woman didn't have anything wrong with her. It's all made up. But she's sitting around acting like she's having the worst time, like she's brushing clumps out of her head, like she's throwing up every 10 minutes, like she just went online and Googled chemo symptoms. That's all she did. And she wrote post after post like this, even talking about having to freeze her eggs so she can have children later. Imagine writing all of that and you don't even have a cold, much less cancer. But it gets worse, because after gaining recognition online for her fight and journey with cancer, Madison got in contact with the National Pancreas Foundation in Chicago and had a podcast with a group of people looking to cure pancreatic cancer. Project Purple. Not too long after Madison found herself in the spotlight on the podcast, a GoFundMe fundraiser was posted up, titled Maddie's Fight Against Pancreatic Cancer. It's really Maddie's fight against common sense. The fundraiser page, started by Tom Boland, raised $37,000 from more than 400 donors. The scandal was found to be alive when medical professionals who so happened to be GoFundMe users took note of medical irregularities when it came to her chemo treatment, i.e. they was reading her Facebook posts and realized this muck don't know what she talking about. A big red flag was her undergoing a procedure to have her eggs removed, like we read in the last post, and frozen for future use. The problem is that can only be done before chemo and radiation treatment, as it can damage the egg. And that was just the first red flag. Because again, she never had cancer, never got diagnosed, None of this. She just woke up one day and started telling people that she was sick and was on this journey. And so this brings me to my favorite part of the story. Because after things get worse and people start digging and realizing like, hey, none of this makes sense. The videos don't look real. She's talking about how she's sick and dizzy and has sores in her mouth, but she looks okay. She's talking about how she's throwing up nonstop, but she looks okay. You got enough energy to make TikTok videos. But this is my favorite part of the video. Professionals started pointing out that when she posted pictures of her own feeding tubes and just tubes everywhere, that they were in the wrong place. This woman was so sick, so lacking of any type of common sense or compassion for the people, so devoid of any type of conscience or morals, that she literally sat there and started taping with regular tape tubes to her face and chest and posting pictures in order to continue to get even more money and attention for this disease that, again, she never had. But things eventually came to an end. On Monday, January 23rd, Madison was invited to speak at St. Ambrose University, but as she walked onto campus, she was arrested by the Eldridge Police Department. Thank God. Imagine she was getting ready to go up there and do her best fake cancer impression. I'm sick, and she gets arrested, thank God. 2 weeks prior to her arrest, Madison updated her GoFundMe page with a message to her donors stating how the cancer had gotten worse and spread through her blood and spine. Eventually, she was just going to fake her death at this point. This past Tuesday, the GoFundMe page was taken down with a statement from the site saying that they have a zero tolerance policy for misuse of their platform, and they guarantee 100% refund to the donors. At least those people get their money back. That's about the only positive thing I see in this story, besides her getting arrested. But again, she was actually involved with the National Pancreatic Cancer Foundation, and they, on Friday, September 27th, had to make a statement to Twitter where they apologized to all affected by Madison's actions, because she ain't just take herself down, she decided to take on she decided to blemish some actual legitimate organizations on her way out. And since the news of her lie has came out, all recordings of the Project Purple podcast that she did are gone, and the National Pancreas Foundation have also taken down all the materials with her in it. But now 19-year-old Madison has been arrested and charged with theft by means of deception, scamming nearly $40,000 of her donors online after taking the lie too far. Now, she's already bonded out from Scott County Jail with a $10,000 cash bond on her behalf. Seems nice to have that much privilege. And even until very recently, up until her arrest, she was still making more and more videos about her hair regimen to keep her hair, her being sick, and blah, blah, blah. But it seems like Miss Madison will be getting what she deserves. Now, we're gonna dive straight into the comments, but first, again, I think what she did was disgusting. I think this human being deserves whatever is coming her way, and I just find it absolutely hilarious that she would go to such lengths to trick people. And the crazy part about it is, it doesn't seem like this was originally started for money until she got picked up by the podcast, and then somebody else made the GoFundMe. I think she just decided to ratchet it up a notch, but it seems like in the beginning, she was just faking cancer for the fun of it. And again, this isn't like a 16-year-old or 17-year-old. She was 19, damn near 20. How dare you? And I personally have a connection to this. I just lost a very close family member literally a couple months ago, who we had to walk them through their battle with cancer until the end of it. And watching them do chemo, do radiation, was one of the most horrible times of my life. And I've never seen a person go through that much pain. And I promise you this, if you are going through chemo and radiation, you're not gonna be smiling and doing cute, fun TikToks and Facebook posts for the rest of the world. I'm sorry, it's just not that easy of a thing. And many people like me, not just people who had to experience it with their loved ones, but the people themselves who have cancer deserve better than this. It's hard enough to bring awareness, but then you distract from it by completely lying to everybody involved. And I'm sure there are many patients who could have actually used the money that was donated to her, but instead that didn't happen. And fortunately enough, she is going to jail for it. But let's dive into the comments real quick. That Madison Russo bitch who lied about having cancer for clout and scam people out of money, she got it coming to her. Facts. A 19-year-old in Iowa faked having cancer, got $37,000 on the GoFundMe, posted fake pics, and spoke at cancer foundations with the actual F. There's a special place in hell for your psychopathic ass. There definitely is. It's unbelievable hearing about this Madison Russo faking that she had cancer and received donations and was the face of many charity events. Unbelievable. I'm so angry. If she hadn't been uncovered as a fraud, I'm sure Madison Russo would have gone full sin and shaved her head in the next few weeks. Narcissists will go to any lengths to get the attention they're addicted to, but to fake cancer for so long is another level of evil. Maddie Russo. Not only that, I think that she was going to not shave her head because she was holding on to that goddamn hair, and that would have been like the first and easiest thing to do, but instead she was talking about like this magic regimen to help her keep her hair. I honestly think that she was planning on dropping a product very soon to help cancer patients keep their hair, and that would have been the next level of just evil. Unfortunately, she got shut down before, because it really looks like she was gearing up for that. She was really making keeping her hair thing a big deal, which is even crazier when that is something that cancer patients have to deal with, and she's just lying about it. Luckily, she didn't get to further take advantage of the situation and would stop before then. But that's our show for the day. I am Joe Stone. This is the Church of Joe Stone podcast. When cool comes to pray, you come to stay and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss another video coming your way, where we find the most shocking and provocative news and we take it to church.